just talking about staying focused, really trusting the process, because the past few weeks it's always been just.
I just got that on camera behind
you. Don't you hate that when you're telling a story and something bigger and better happens behind you? You can't continue the story. It's over. Just let it go.
This is Sportscentre.
Hey, I'm Marissa Roberto, and today's one of the most magical days on the sporting calendar, with the Summer Olympics officially underway in Paris. But before we get to that, we gotta talk about the latest in the Canada soccer scandal. The COC announced last night that Bev Priestman has been removed from the games, with assistant Andy Spence taking over as head coach. Canada Soccer also released a statement, claiming that they'll conduct an independent review, and that Priestman will be away until that is complete. Now, obviously the players are facing some heat too, but Canada Soccer emphasized today that none of the players were aware of any of this behavior. And legendary Canadian soccer player Stephanie Labbé made that very clear this morning. We'll see what happens next, but for now we're going to keep an eye on the opening ceremony, which is currently underway. The procession will be done in boats for the first time ever, with Canada being led by flag bearers Andre de Grasse and Maud Chiron. And since it's happening in water, it makes a lot of sense to talk about Canada's Summer McIntosh, who is expected to make a major splash in Paris. After an impressive showing in Tokyo in the Summer Olympics as a 14-year-old, McIntosh is expected to make a big leap on sport's biggest stage. And she's gonna be busy. The 9-day meet could see her compete over 15 times. That is absolutely exhausting to even think about, especially for someone who doesn't really swim, you know? It's just impressive is all. To be clear, I'm talking about me. I can't swim. Not Summer, obviously. The F1 season is nearing its summer break, but first we have this weekend at the Belgium Grand Prix, where Max Verstappen is looking to win for the 4th straight year. So let's now bring in our good friend and noted beauty influencer, Tim Hauraney. Tim, how's it going?
Thanks, Marissa. I see that new job title and I accept it.
Listen, I'm reaping the rewards of your beauty influencing, okay? Thank you for the hookup. Okay, Tim, so there was some breaking news this morning, with Bruno Famin announcing he's stepping down from Alpine's F1 team. What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, Marissa, earlier on Friday, Bruno Famin announcing to us that he would be stepping down at the end of August from the Alpine F1 team principal position. I think for him, it sounds like he had a lot going on. Not only was he running the Alpine F1 team as their team principal, but he was also looking after other Renault and Alpine racing projects like their World Endurance Championship project that they have going on currently, and others as well. So maybe just a little bit too much on his plate. And this has been a pretty brutal season for the Renault-owned Alpine F1 team, if I'm perfectly honest. I mean, starting off the season with an overweight car, underpowered engine, not the greatest of aerodynamics as well. Granted, they have made some steps this season so far, but this team has done way better in the past. And looking at where they are right now, I mean, it's going to be really tough for them to move forward. So I think for him stepping down, and it's rumored at this moment that Hi-Tech runs teams in Formula 2 and Formula 3. Their team principal, Oliver Oakes, it's rumored that he's going to come up and take Bruno Famin's position as team principal at the Alpine F1 team.
Okay, so Max Verstappen failed to win for the 3rd straight race in Hungary. And I understand he's got something working against him this week as well.
Yep, he does, Marissa. He's going to be taking a 10-place grid penalty for Sunday's race. You're only allowed to use 4 engines in a Formula 1 season. Max is now working on his 5th, so wherever he qualifies, let's say he gets pole position, he's starting 10 places back from that for Sunday's Grand Prix. And just to throw a little wrench into the conversation here, McLaren looks extremely strong at the Belgian Grand Prix. So too does Lando Norris. And if Max isn't able to really score a lot of points and Lando gets max points, so 25 points for a win plus fastest lap, 26 points, we could start the conversation that we could have a drivers' championship battle as well to add to the current constructors' championship battle when we get out of the summer break.
Tim, always a pleasure. I look forward to our next meeting in person where you can give me more stuff from Charlotte Tilbury.
All right, thanks very much, Marissa. I got to go now. I have more beauty products to give away. So see ya. Thanks for having me.
And you can catch the Belgium Grand Prix Sunday morning on TSN. Coverage begins bright and early, 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific. Time now for the CFL preview powered by FanDuel. And we've got another intriguing matchup tonight between a pair of surprising teams, as the Stamps are in our nation's capital to take on the Red Blacks. Calgary is 3-3 but is coming off a huge win, having silenced the Lions on Sunday. And Stamps QB Jake Meyers having a nice season so far. He's third in the league in touchdown passes and is on pace to nearly double his career high of 19 from last season. FanDuel has his over-under for touchdown passes set at 1.5 tonight, and we're really liking the over. Meanwhile, in Ottawa, QB Drew Brown has been up and down so far this season with the Red Blacks, but they are 4-2, albeit with 2 straight wins over Edmonton. Brown has been really clicking with star wideout Justin Hardy, who's on pace to go well over 1,000 yards this season. FanDuel has some enticing odds on him going over the century mark tonight, which we're finding a little hard to resist. You can catch tonight's game between the Stamps and Red Blacks on TSN. Coverage begins at 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific. Joined now by a special guest on behalf of Quench Hydration. I'm pleased to welcome Gavin McKenna from the WHL's Medicine Hat Tigers. Gavin, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Now, you are one of the top new members of Team Quench. How does it feel to join a roster with other athletes like NHL superstar Nathan MacKinnon?
Yeah, it's super cool. He's one of my favorite players, so kind of be somewhat like partners with him, I guess. It's pretty cool. He's such a big influence on kids and myself as well. So to be on the same kind of deal with him, it's pretty cool. Yeah.
Right, it's like you're all related now. You're all tied in together. Now, speaking of familial ties, you're already tearing it up in the WHL, and I heard you've got some familial ties to Connor Bedard. What's that relationship like?
We're like distant cousins through marriage. Like I've talked to him a few times online, but haven't talked to him much. But yeah, not blood related in any way.
Honestly, it doesn't matter. I'm Italian and we all call each other cousins even if we're just family friends. So I'm going to take this relation here and play a little game with you. And since we like to have some fun around here, we're going to play a little NHL blind rankings. I'm going to give you an NHL family and you've got to give me a number 1 through 5. Are you ready? Here we go. We're starting hot with the Hughes family.
It's a good family. I'm going to throw them in 1.
The Hull family. I know. We got a 3-time Art Ross winner in there, okay? We got Hart Trophy winner in there.
Yeah.
No.
I'm going to throw him. Do I take away? No, I'm going to throw him in 3.
The Sutter family.
There's a lot. There's a lot there.
We got a lot in there.
I'm going to throw them in 4.
Okay, we got 1, 3, and 4 taken care of. We got 2 and 5 left. This is a tough one. The Esposito brothers.
I'm going to throw them like, I'm going to go 2.
Like it checks.
5, I guess. Got to.
Honestly, it's a respectful list because I threw a bunch of big names at you. And it's a little unfair because they all belong at 1, you know? And I know I didn't mention this before, but I am from Saskatoon, so I'm a Blades girl. Do you want to give any love to the Saskatoon Blades at all?
I can't.
Fair enough. I tried. Thank you so much for joining me.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
That's it for me today. We'll see you right back here Monday. Have a great weekend.